Did you know that the typical tourist only stays in most places for 2 or 3 nights, never truly getting a feel for their underlying rhythms? Imagine reducing your pace and spending weeks or months in communities where people live in harmony and you can relax. Today, we'll look at 10 cities across the globe that are ideal for leisurely travel. Locations where you may enjoy afternoon tea in a plaza, browse at neighborhood markets, and genuinely experience local culture. This is significant because, in a way that hurried itineraries seldom do, slow travel turns a trip into an enriching experience that connects you to people, culture, and pace. Valparaiso, Chile. Although Valparaiso is a vibrant city with hillside neighborhoods, mosaic staircases, and artist-run cafes that flourish outside of the tourist circuit, the region is occasionally under tremor advisories due to seismic activity and steep topography. Locals continue to live artistically on the hillsides, and the streets are alive with the gentle pulse of art. Imagine joking that your heart is raised more quickly than the funicular while enjoying espresso at a cafe with mural as a backdrop. Useful tips include staying halfway up the hill to minimize steep walking, adhering to earthquake preparedness protocols, wearing sturdy shoes, and supporting locally owned hostel cafes that employ craftsmen. You will experience Valparaiso's inventive slow journey beat if you remain vigilant but connected. Gimmelwald, Switzerland. Meadow vistas and Swiss pastoral tranquility may be found in Gimmelwald, a car-free alpine community situated above the Lauterbrunnen Valley. However, winter snow closures and limited summer housing need advanced planning, and mountain safety advisories emphasize the risk of avalanches during specific seasons. The valley is still serene, secure, and beautiful. Imagine drinking tea while joking that you recently joined in a Swiss Serenity school while you gaze across waterfalls. Recommendations include booking chalets months in advance, checking mountain weather forecasts, hiking only designated trails, and visiting in late spring or the brush summer. Gimmelwald provides unmatched slow mountain clarity. Be mindful of the alpine environment and respect the landscape. Boquete, Panama. Boquete is located in Panama's cool highlands, surrounded by cloud forests, coffee plantations, and easy hiking routes. Local geological services warn of seasonal landslide hazards during the rainy months, as well as the possibility of heavy rainfall on occasion. Additionally, some roads may be muddy from May to November. However, as the rain stops, peace returns to the small village. Imagine joking that you just outran a cloud while meandering through trails lined with ferns at dawn. Suggestions include bringing rain gear, hiring a 4-wheel vehicle, or using a local shuttle, scheduling coffee farm excursions ahead of time, and hiking with a guide on slick terrain. Boquete's green tranquility will change the pace of your journey if you remain flexible but grounded. Pienza, Italy. Renaissance plazas, pecorino cheese shops, and vineyards are all within walking distance of Pienza, which enchants visitors. However, the summer heat and occasionally restricted bus schedules from Siena might cause problems for day trippers, as local tourism authorities report bus route disruptions. You still get to enjoy quiet streets in the morning when you stay overnight. Imagine joking that your cheese palate recently received a degree-level education while sipping pecorino on a cliff overlooking Val d'Orcia. Useful advice includes renting a modest apartment close by, exploring on foot or by bicycle, visiting surrounding fields during harvest season, and dining early or late to escape the busiest lunchtime crowds. When you stay, Pienza's soft heartbeat becomes apparent. Drink plenty of water and pace your tastings. Chef Chow in Morocco. Though travel warnings occasionally mention the possibility of robbery in little alleys, and that certain riads may not have reliable hot water, Chef Chow entices with its azure blue walls, mountain views, and fragrant mint tea in shaded squares. After tourists go, the local friendliness flourishes, and the color is softened by the still twilight light. Imagine joking that you are now living inside a painting while enjoying a cup of tea in a blue courtyard. Recommendations include staying in riads that are well-liked by the locals, traveling during the week to avoid weekend crowds, bringing small amounts of local cash, and constantly haggling over taxi prices in advance. Chef Chow's mellow colors and warmth will make your trip lasts a long time if you remain open-minded but mindful. Kinosaki Onsen, Japan. Visitors are immersed in hot spring culture at Kinosaki Onsen, where they walk through lantern-lit streets between 7 public baths while wearing yukata robes. However, some onsens do not allow tattoos due to privacy norms, and new local regulations forbid foreigners with large tattoos from entering popular baths out of respect for local culture. The village remains peaceful and friendly thanks to its quiet inns and delectable delights. Imagine joking that your feet now know more about geology than your hiking boots while sipping green tea in your kimono. Advice: carry modest swimwear. Observe bathing etiquette. Schedule evening onsen slots in advance, and rent a ryokan with private bath access if tattoos are concerned. To experience the tranquility of Kinosaki's leisurely pace, be mindful of tradition and regional customs. Colonia del Sacramento, Uruguay. Although occasional seasonal flooding can affect low-lying historic zones, as reported in regional news, Colonia del Sacramento is charming with colonial cobble lanes, colorful facades, and a relaxed waterfront vibe. Tourist day boat crowds arrive midday, but the streets gradually empty in the mornings and evenings. However, the majority of guests only stay for a few hours, missing the allure of leisurely nights. Imagine joking that you've entered a coastal painting while wandering by the historic lighthouse during golden hour. Useful tips include: reserve a posada inside Barrio Historico. Go for a stroll before the noise level increases. Wear closed-toe shoes to avoid uneven cobblestones. And check tidal warnings before visiting river beaches. You may experience Uruguay's subtle colonial charm firsthand if you remain calm and attentive. Luang, Prabang, Laos. Although Luang Prabang has peaceful riverbank alleys, golden temples, and monks in saffron robes that gaze out over the Mekong at dawn, boat transportation can occasionally be disrupted by periodic floods during the wet season, and tiny goose houses occasionally report insect control issues mentioned in recent travel advisories. The town's riverbank cafes and early morning alms ceremony are still very much a part of the experience. For true calm, picture yourself laughing that your meditation app just abandoned you while enjoying loud coffee in a bamboo hut. Advice: stay in family-run homestays with mosquito nets, pack light rain gear and insect repellent, and visit between November and February when there is little chance of rain. Luang Prabang will give you a sense of inner serenity if you observe Buddhist practices and take your time. Folegandros, Greece. Although the island's rocky topography can be difficult for elderly tourists and heat waves in July and August may put a strain on the water supply, Folegandros entices travelers with its stunning cliffs, whitewashed settlements, and isolated bays where crowds disperse after ferry landings, according to local municipal advice. However, most tourists come to unwind, not to attend beach parties. Imagine joking that your phone battery is now envious of your attention to reality while strolling to a cafe perched on a cliff at sunset. Tips: reserve lodging with dependable water storage. Rent a quad bike with caution if you plan to ride hilly roads, and observe the midday siesta hours in rural areas. As you immerse yourself in island slow travel, keep cool, pace yourself, and experience the timeless Aegean tranquility. Sintra, Portugal. With palaces set above foggy hills and beautiful gardens, just a short stroll from pastel cafes. Sintra enchants visitors and offers a tranquil escape into Portuguese romanticism. However, local tourism boards warn that summer day tour buses occasionally overrun the center, triggering crowd surges near Pena Palace. However, spending the night reveals serene plazas with pastel de nata and chirping birds in the morning. Imagine drinking cappuccino and joking that you now live in a fairy tale as peacocks pass your table. Recommendations: take local buses rather than tour shuttles. Stay in a guest house outside the historic center. Get to the palace early and explore the woodland paths in the morning. When you go slowly and remain attentive and inquisitive, you will discover Sintra's enchanted rhythm. These 10 cities are the epitome of slow travel, an opportunity to travel with intention, form meaningful connections, and appreciate life's little rhythms via community, food, culture, and the natural world. Even while each has its own peculiarities, such as weather, transportation, or local laws, adopting an informed and respectful mindset makes your trip one to remember. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, enable notifications so you don't miss any general travel guides, and let me know in the comments which town you would most like to visit first if this encourages you to slow down and explore in a different way. We appreciate you watching, and we look forward to slow excursions that challenge your understanding of travel at every turn.